Hello, 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 you all. I hope that you're doing well. I just wanted to get on just for a moment to talk about something that I think is very important. When you are truly, truly, truly trying to be the person that God has called you to be, you have to learn, not only you, but you have to learn the season that you are in. Sometimes the season doesn't make sense to those who are around you. Sometimes the season doesn't make sense even to you. But you are growing and you should want to continue to grow and you want to continue to listen for the voice of the Lord. Okay? You want to hear and wait on God to speak to you, to help guide you in the directions that He needs for you to go in. And the reason why, you all, this is very important is because, you know, it's important because, as I said Tuesday during Bible study, our ways are not like God's ways. Our thoughts are not like His thoughts. Our thoughts are small. They're very, they are, a lot of times our thoughts are based off of the people we have come in contact with, or they're based off of our environment. And so when you're around people who don't think big, then what happens is you tend not to think big. And when I say that, it's not a disrespect, or excuse me, excuse me, or it's not me throwing shade at anybody, but it's just that when you don't know to think on another level, you choose not to, right? So you have to ask yourself, in this season of your life, the season that God has called you to, what does it look like? And how do you hear clearly from God? You know, I have tried to do this video 2 different times today, and it is very clear now that I'm finally doing it, the reason why I needed to do it, or the reason why I needed to go back over my notes, because this I'm getting ready to give you, I've already taught it this year, or I think this year, or maybe it was sometime last year. But nevertheless, that's why it's so important to keep your notes, especially as a minister. It's important to keep your notes as one who writes, or journal. It's important so that you can go back and look at it. All right. So let's go ahead and dive in. Before we dive in, let me share this. So let me go to my page real quickly. I'm sorry, turn this volume down. So I thought it was. Just give me a moment and let me fix this, and let me share it real quickly to my children's page. And I know my daughter, she's going to welcome this, because I was trying to get in contact with her, yeah, she had to set some boundaries even with me. And my kids, they're not afraid to set boundaries when it comes to me, because they know I will call them all the time, or bud them, not bud them, but just do mommy things, right? But that's what we do as parents. We love on our children, and we want to make sure, no matter how old they are, that they are well. Well, at least good parents do. Okay? So let me share this. Like I said, I'm sure Octavia, she's going to enjoy this. All right? All right, so I've shared it with my children, to Sister Act. Let's go ahead and get started. All right. So let's talk about healthy boundaries. Why do you think it's important to set boundaries? Why do you think it's important? We don't just set boundaries because we're hurt. We don't set boundaries because we are trying to prove a point to someone. That's not why you set boundaries. You set boundaries to draw lines so that you can manage what's on the side of your line, not necessarily what's on the side of the other line. Okay, so you're not trying to You're not trying to set boundaries because you're trying to control people, okay? So when I set boundaries, or my children set boundaries when it comes to me, they're not just setting boundaries because they're mad at me, or they don't want to talk to me, or they think I'm not cool. It's nothing like that. They're setting boundaries for them, for their sake. And I get it. As a parent and as one who understands this, I get it. And that's why I'm sharing this. I'm sharing it because, again, the boundaries that you set, it is not to offend other people. But in the midst of you working on you, or you setting the boundaries, whether it's to study, whether it's, you setting aside time to meditate, you do it for you. You're not doing it, and you're not just letting people know, well, I'm setting boundaries because I need time to myself, or I put you on, or I turn my phone off just because. No, 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 no. You can control your life in a way to let, you don't have to let the world know that you're trying to control your life, if that makes sense, okay? All right. So boundaries, I'll put my glasses on so I can see. All right. So boundaries, they are not just about a line, okay? But it is an understanding that you are in control behind your line. Like I just said, you setting boundaries are you being in control. You're not setting boundaries to control other people and say, no, you can't cross this line, because many of us would keep drawing lines and making it hard for people to come over or to get close to us, right? All right, so we understand that we cannot control people, all right? We don't control people, and we are not trying to control people. Listen, when God created Adam, when he made Adam, he told Adam what to do, and then Adam in return told Eve what to do. God told Adam, said, listen, dude, you got dominion. Take dominion over everything, the fish in the sea, the fowl in the air, everything. This land that I've given you, it is yours. It is yours to work it. He did not say, I've given you dominion over mankind. Because we don't, and that's why control does not feel good for us, or within us. For most of us, we don't like to be controlled, because we were not created to be controlled. We were created to work together, but not to be controlled nor manipulated. And some people have a strong gift of manipulation. It's not that they really like you, they just want you to do what it is that they want you to do for them. And that's why it is an uncomfortable feeling. All right, because we were never designed to do that. We were designed to control everything that God had given man, okay, far as the land, all right, far as what's in the air, never one another, all right. So why do we set boundaries? All right, we set boundaries for healthy purposes. All right, we set boundaries because we set them for healthy spiritual, psychological, emotional, and physical wellness. That's why we set boundaries. Now, if we're setting boundaries for, as I mentioned, for healthy spiritual reasons, then that means we need to be working on our spiritual man. We're not setting boundaries and then we are just eating ourselves away. Okay, we're not just gluttoning on things, whether it's TV or whether it's food or whatever, or even conversation with people. We're not doing that and we say we have boundaries up. No, that is not setting boundaries, all right? When you set boundaries for your spiritual or your psychological, emotional, or your physical wellness, what you're doing is you are taking the time to invest in you. All right, you're taking the time to be motivated by you. You're taking the time to invest in you. You are taking the time to love on you. That is so important. Many people are quick to say that they love other people, but they don't know how to love themselves. Many people don't know how to love themselves. They don't know how to take care of themselves. They want a lot for other people, or say that they want a lot for other people, but they don't want the same for themselves. And so what happens is they fall short, or when other people come up short in their lives, they are very disappointed. You don't have to be disappointed by man, because you do what it is that you need to get done. You know what I'm saying? You don't wait for somebody to show you love. You love yourself, so that if it doesn't come, you already know what it feels like. Okay, you already know that you have enough of you in your storage that you can bring it out, even if no one else wants to demonstrate it for you or to you. All right, so again, you set boundaries. You set boundaries for a healthy spiritual, psychological, emotional, and physical wellness. All right, you have to set these boundaries to help you to well, you need to set these boundaries so that you can grow. Okay, you want to grow. You want to be that individual that is that is strong, that is healthy. Again, not just for you, but also the people that surround you. All right. All right. Let me see what else I want to give you. All right, so let's jump on into the first boundary. All right, first boundary, number one, be okay with no. Be okay with the word no. Be okay with it. I know sometimes I have a hard time, especially when I like people, when I know I'm good at something. That's my that's that demon I have to fight. Is, my daughter, she reminded me of something the other day. She said, "Yeah, we know you can do everything or do a lot of stuff." And sometimes when you're gifted or talented in a lot of areas, you find yourself doing a lot. But doing a lot doesn't necessarily mean that you're being effective. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're doing what God has willed you to do. So you have to pull back, draw those lines so that you can hear and say what's next. Because if you are a person, well, no, let's say it this way, a person such as myself, when I go in to do any assignment, I want to do it for the glory of God. I am expecting God to move not only on my behalf, but for those who are around me. They're just like in ministry. Whenever I minister, I try not to leave, as they say, don't leave any crumbs on the table or whatever. I try to give my all. I try to leave drain, or not in a bad way, but I try to leave knowing that each service, each opportunity that I have with a person or with people, that they have gotten everything from me just in case they don't see me again. It doesn't matter about what I'm doing. I could just be having a conversation with a person. I could be, hanging out with some friends. I could be working. I could be in ministry, ministering. I could be doing just whatever. I try to put myself in a position for people to pull out what I have poured into myself. Because what it does for me, it forces me to go and get replenished. If I don't have anybody pulling from me, then there'll be no need to pour back into me. This that I have right here, by the way, says Kingdom Producers Internationals. You see my avatar? All right. So if I have nothing in this container, it doesn't do me any good. It's just sitting here, right? Looking pretty. But it's what it was designed to do. It wasn't just designed to sit in my cabinet or on my desk, to look pretty for people to admire it. No, it was meant to hold substance, liquid, not just anything, but liquid, so that whenever I need something to drink, this thing, this tumbler is able to hold what I need. The capacity of this unit, this one unit, has enough of liquid in here to replenish me. So whenever you get around people, that's what you want. You want what's in them, the container that they are, right? You want what's in them, especially if it's something good. You want it to come out. And so that's why with me, I've said before, and if you really know me, you know how serious I am. I don't like texting. and I don't like talking on the phone. I didn't used to be like that. I used to have all my phones on me. I can leave right now and forget my phone and be okay, right? But the reason why I don't like necessarily talking on the phone is because there's oftentimes a break, meaning we sit there and there's no conversation. It's just air. And for me, that's a waste of my time because I'm always moving, I'm always going, I'm always doing stuff. I like to keep things going, keep things flowing. And if there's nothing to say, I got to get off so I can get on with someone who do have something to say, or I need to get off so I can get busy, so I can work, so I can do whatever. That's me, okay? That's me. That may be a lot for some, but that's me. That's what makes me work. That is what keeps me at a level of peace, and it keeps my head healthy because my mind is constantly going, but it's going in positive directions. Okay. So I said all of that to say, going back to no, sometimes it's hard for me to say no because I want to see people succeed. I want to see people, go to that next level. They don't have to say, I am where I am because of Apostle Q or Lady Q. Depends on what hat I'm wearing at the time. If I'm in ministry or whether I am in this in the corporate world in that sector. It doesn't matter where I'm at. I don't have to have people to say it is because of you, because it's not about me. It is about the God that's in me that I carry, that I want to give out everything. So with that, again, it's hard for me to say no. But as I go back over my notes, as I go back, and I believe God is reminding me, it's okay to say no. It's okay to say no because there's better, there's more. Not that what you're leaving is not good enough, but better far as the plans that God has for you. Everybody has a road that they have to travel. Many people are traveling other people's roads. Okay? And that's why sometimes it's uncomfortable. Sometimes we're not trained for it, we're not equipped for it, because that was not our destination, or that was not the road that God assigned us on, or assigned us to rather. All right, so be okay with no. Now get this though, what does no mean? Saying no is not out of revenge. You said no to me, so I am now saying no to you. That is not why we say no. Okay, we don't say no just to get back at somebody. No. A healthy no, now listen to me, y'all, this is good. A healthy no means that under normal circumstances, you will be able to perform the task being asked, but at the moment, it doesn't mean that it's going to always be like this, right? But at the moment, you are unable to do it due to other obligations that that is already assigned to you, that is already pre-assigned, predestined. Okay, so what does that look like? You say no. Sometimes people, they'll take offense to it because they don't understand your why. That's why it's very important to be transparent when it comes to people and your future. Okay, you say no, make it a healthy no under normal circumstances. However, I am unable to because I already have plans. I already have such and such. But please keep me in mind for the future. Now, maturity sits in, on the other half, if they were to say, yes, I understand, and I would definitely keep you in mind. Immaturity looks like, no, I won't, or, how dare he or she, blah, 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 right? And again, y'all, this that I am giving you, this Life Cafe, is what I'm giving you from something that I taught last year. And I think I may have added some stuff to it sometime at the beginning of this year. But I do believe that God does allow us to, again, bring something back for things to resurface, to help us, especially if you're praying, you're asking God for guidance. All right? All right. Let's see. You don't have to tell everyone you would have, could have, should have, might have, etc. Your no, if carefully thought of, is in no reflection to dishonor the other person. It is there to keep you stable. You understand? It keeps you stable. It keeps you mentally, physically, psychologically, emotionally stable. Okay? All right. So that's why there's no a healthy no. That's why there's nothing negative that should be received from that, because it is designed to keep that person healthy. Okay? All right, number 2. Your boundaries will keep you from compromising. All right? Setting boundaries will keep you from compromising. I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna help you out, and I'm gonna be straight up with y'all. So, I do have boundaries when it comes to my personal life. I haven't always when it came to my personal life. But the more I am growing in God, and the more, I guess I could say, the more I am gathering information from God about my future, I am trying to be very careful far as the things I do, and pretty much the things that I do. Something as simple as someone who saw me, for example, felt as if I was very attractive. And this person, he kept on saying how attractive that I was or whatever. And he later wanted me to send him a picture, just a picture, nothing nasty or nothing like that, whatever. And I said, no, I don't do that. So they was like, okay, I get it, whatever. Because that person would never see me, because of the distance, whatever, they wanted, to see a picture. So for most people, it would appear that that's simple. There's nothing wrong with that, Q. Send the man a picture of you. This is why I don't like text messages. You never know who's really on the other side. Now, I know this person exists, so it's nothing like, I met this person, off the internet or through La La Land, or it's nothing like that. So I know that the person exists, all right? But I have boundaries, okay? I have boundaries. And I said no the first time. So they was like, okay, I understand. A couple of weeks later, they still requested a picture because they said that they wanted to see my face or video or whatever. But they wanted to see me. First they wanted a video just to see me, and then they wanted to see a picture of me. Now this is me because of my boundaries. I've already told you no one time. I don't need to tell you no 2 or 3 more times, because if I have to continue to tell you no, then you're not listening or you don't respect what I say. And you do train people on how they are to treat you. So if you compromise, then what happens is, if you compromise on one thing, then you are setting yourself to compromise on something else. Now listen, when I say I haven't always been like this, listen, let me help you out. And before some of y'all start digging in my past, you ain't got to expose me. I expose myself. All right. So let's let this part be clear. It's nothing like that. What I need for you to understand is, when you grow in the things of God, you set boundaries. You set boundaries far as how people are going to come at you, how people are going to talk to you. I don't believe in letting people just talk to you or handle you any kind of way. I don't care if it's something that they have been doing all their life. Today is a day that you can change. Today is a day you choose you this day whom you're going to serve. You're going to continue to serve that flesh, or you're going to get some act right. You understand? So I set the boundaries, and so the individual, again, I don't have to tell you, I'm grown, okay? I'm a grown woman, all right? I'm not a young girl. I'm not an easy woman. I'm not one of those have to have somebody, and that's why I respond, okay? I've already said one time no to the picture, right? I've already said no to we're not videoing, because it's not even like that, because I'm not even interested. I'm not even looking to date. I'm looking to stay focused on what's at hand, right? I've already let that be known. So the second time this individual asked me for a picture, and hopefully there's some mature women that will be viewing this, and they will appreciate me for trying to be mature and protect my integrity. I told him, I said, Google me. He texts back, Google. And I put LOL, yeah, Google me. If you want to see a picture of me that bad, Google me. Because I've already let it be known what I'm not willing to do. My thing was no. And again, for people who may say, well, Quatanya, that's nothing. How are you going to meet someone, or how are you going to date someone, or how are you going to? That's the point. I am not ready yet. Okay? And I'm not hard. I don't have this brick wall up because I'm mad. It's just I have learned to appreciate me and what I have to give to people. And I'm not going to allow people to mishandle me. I've gotten to the place in my life to where I would not listen. It's God first, then, however you have your life set up. But when it comes to me, I don't have to be second. I don't have to be third, and I don't have to be fourth. I have to know where I am in that person's space, or where I am in whatever it is that I'm doing. And if I don't feel valued or important enough, then I will excuse myself, because I understand what value equals, right? I understand what value equals to. So for me, I would easily dismiss myself if I feel like you're not valuing me in a way that I need to be valued. Does that make sense? When you know how to set boundaries and it doesn't matter if somebody say, oh, well, you have depreciated because XYZ. No. The life I live may look like I have been depreciated, but on the contrary, no, it has added value because of the storms I've gone through, because of the many industries I have been blessed to enter in. I have great value. And when you understand the value that you have and the value that you are, you would never let anybody put a price on you. So when I say no to the picture, I meant no. That's why I say Google me. Now, I'll put my glasses back on. I guess you all know what happened afterwards, right? I haven't heard from him. And guess what? It's okay, because I am setting boundaries. Okay? I taught my daughter, do not, and I mean it, do not accept phone calls from a man after a certain time. Do not, even if you get it in your, if you get a message or whatever, do not respond at that time. If somebody texts you at 2 o'clock in the morning, We know what's on their mind, right? And even for my son, he a grown whole man, a whole man. Even for D. Austin, I would want D. Austin to be responding to no person, no matter who it is. I would want my son to respond to a person over in the morning. Now, if that person is working, that's different. But if that person is not just trying to see what's going on, nobody's playing those type of games anymore. So yeah, well, my daughter, when she was growing up and as she was blossoming to a young lady, I told her, no, you don't accept calls from no man at no certain time. You don't allow yourself to be that available. And we're talking about boundaries. Many people will be so happy just to get a phone call because they want to talk to somebody. But I'm telling you, if you don't set boundaries in your life, then people will set boundaries for you. And then what happens is if their boundaries or their motives are unhealthy, then it will leave you somewhere with your thumb in your mouth, sucking on it, rocking back and forth. And so as you grow in the things of God, or just as you mature in life, you don't allow people to mishandle you. You don't have to allow people to mishandle you in order to have people in your life. And if you think that you have to allow people to keep mistreating you so that you can have somebody in your life, then you're not thinking big enough. You're not thinking big enough, because what you're saying to me or the people that's around you is that you're only good enough for the mishandled. You're only good enough for that person, or maybe me, or this person over here. You're not. And that's why God says, listen, my thoughts are so much higher than yours. Set the boundaries. Set the boundaries. And again, it's not that anybody is hating on anybody or whatever, but, and again, as I've said, for the record, I have not always thought like this. I have not always done this. But as I've gotten older, pushing 50, and understand that some of my old ways, just help add some, some value to me. But other than that, it also caused some pain. Okay. So when you put the boundaries in front of you, then what you're saying is, I refuse to compromise. All right. I'm not compromising. I'm not lowering my standards. When people say, now there's times when I am doing business, I may get, I put it like this. There's times in business, you may be a blessing to someone or to an organization or whatever. And you're a blessing because you want to be a blessing to them. Sometimes people say stuff like, oh, well, they charge too much. Not necessarily me, but I've heard people talk about other owners and entrepreneurs. Your fees are too high, or you charge too much for this, you charge too much for that. Now, sometimes we do, or we can, go overboard, but at the same time, that person knows their value. And I don't see anybody going to any major department store challenging their prices. If I were to go to a Louis Vuitton store, I'm not going to sit up there and argue with a person. I'm not going to tell that woman I'm not paying $5,000 for that bag, because she's going to be like, when you enter in, you knew what type of store this was. There's no 20% off. There's no 30% off. So why do we do other people like that? Why do we expect other people to compromise and to lower their standards just because they don't have enough content, or because you don't know them like that? No. You do not bring your boundaries, or you don't bring your standards down because everybody don't understand who you are. And really, those of us who wear Louis Vuitton, we just wear them because we first saw somebody else wear them. The item, or carry the bag, And then after that, we decided, hey, even though it may cost a lot, that's what we want. But none of us has ever questioned the manufacturer and say, hey, why are you choosing to charge this amount for these bags? We equate it with money anyway. So when a person say, I'm not going to pay $5 for a scoop of ice cream, then what you're telling that person is that you broke. That's what you're saying. You don't have to talk bad about the person, and they don't have to compromise their prices to come to your lane. This is good. This is good. You don't have to compromise with people. When you're a business owner, you do not have to lower your price to satisfy everybody. Now, yes, you can be a blessing to people, but just because people talk and say, oh, he charged too much for that, or she charged too much for that, or I'm not going to him, or I'm not going to get him to, or get her to do my hair anymore because she charged $500 for a quick weave or some braids or whatever. Don't go to her. Somebody will. Somebody who's saying that, hey, $500 is not going to hurt my bank account. They're going to go to them. So for those of you who are in business, don't settle. Don't devalue what you've worked hard for. Not only business, but as a person who's trying to keep their bodies pure and holy and set apart. You know, like I said, listen, I can tell you some show enough stories that I have not always thought like this, and I haven't always kept myself. But what I'm saying is, when you come to that place and you get to that place, you stay there. And if you want to come out of that place, let it be because of you, and not because you allow somebody to cross over, or you compromise. Because if you compromise your body, if you compromise your standards, it's only hurting you. It's not hurting the next person. You understand? It's not hurting them. They don't know. They don't care that you got boundaries. Most people, not everybody, all right? But I'm not going to say most. Let's just say some folks. Some folks, they have what? They have their motives anyway. You understand? So you have to stay clear on what it is that, God bless you, on what it is that you want, or what it is that you're trying to do. You make it clear to people. That's like what I was saying earlier about that gentleman who wanted the picture. Now, I get it. He kept saying that I was beautiful and XYZ. But the reason why it did not tickle my feathers, take my glasses off. The reason why it did not do whatever it could have done in the past for me is because, you know what? I know I'm beautiful. Whether I'm rocking my gray hair or whether I got a wig on, whether I've gained weight or whether I lose weight, I tell myself, I make myself feel just in case no one else compliments me. I make myself feel and look a certain way just in case somebody else don't say, "Ooh, Quatan, you look nice today." You know? No, when I leave my house, I look at myself. When I get in my garage, I got a full-length mirror in my garage. I'll look at myself again to double check, to make sure that my expectations far as how I leave my area and I step out in the world is presentable, just in case I don't get anybody's applause, you know, the hand clap. All right, your boundaries, again, because I set boundaries. Again, I set boundaries, all right? Your boundaries will keep you from compromising. You don't have to worry about gossiping because there is no line there. You're not gossiping. Listen, I don't have to gossip. I don't like gossiping. You understand? I know what it's like to be in a position where people gossip about me. It's not a good feeling, right? I don't like doing that, you know? I don't have to do that. I don't have to worry about it because there's no line there. I don't want to. People know that you can't just gossip to me. We may talk about things and inform one another, but we don't linger. I don't allow people to linger for days and days and days and days, tearing down people or just providing information. Sometimes you get enough and you go on. You know, you go on just to get enough just to make a decision and you make it move, right? All right. You don't have to worry about asking what did she say or what did he say. You refuse to entertain conversations as such because you know what it's like to be on the receiving end. As I said before, I know what it's like to be talked about. Nobody likes it. I don't like it. I didn't like it, right? It doesn't make you feel good. So why do it? And some people they just love it, because they don't have anything else to say. But when you're a busy person such as myself, you don't have time, right? It's kind of like what I used to do with my students. I would put a timer on the TV to let them know how long they have before we need to switch to something else. That's how I am, even when it comes to the phone. The first time I hear you inhale and exhale, I can hear you breathing. Oh, okay, y'all. I get back with you. I got something I got to do. Nothing personal, but I cannot compromise my time because while you're breathing, while you're trying to do something, I could be doing something. All right. The third one, and I'm going to stop. You have to know what you want from each relationship. Listen here, y'all. Some of y'all folks, y'all want relationships with these people. When I say people, I'm talking about just anybody, right? Some of you want relationships as far as like girlfriend, boyfriend. Some of y'all want to be married. I'm not knocking that, okay? I am not knocking that at all, right? But let's look at the relationship that you have with other people. Let's look at the relationship you have within your family, your church family, your co-workers. All of those should be healthy. Just like you want a healthy relationship with your boyfriend or, say, your spouse. How about working on a good relationship with your co-workers? A lot of you say, well, I didn't go to work to make any friends. Listen, let me put my glasses back on so I can see you. I've never understood that. I've never. And I've been working since, I think I was 16 when I got my first job. Yeah, I was in high school. I had my son and everything. I never, or maybe I wasn't pregnant. Yeah, I think I had already had the also. But anyway, I was very young. I never understood why people say, I go to work just to get a check. I didn't go to work to make friends. What a boring job. What a boring day. I'm not saying that you got to, I guess because I'm a friendly person, I like talking to people. I'm not saying everybody has to be your best friend, but you can at least form some associates. It helps the day to go by and it helps you and it helps that person. You grow, I don't know. But anyway, work on your relationship, okay? Let's build relationships, all right? So I had to throw that in. I don't know why, I just threw it in there. But let me finish up before my tablet dies. All right. Again, point 3, you have to know what you want from each relationship, all right? What do you want from that particular friend? What do you want from your spouse and area of communication? The area of communication must speak truth, okay? Again, let's go back to that guy, who wanted a picture of me because he wanted to remember how I look or whatever. I gave him the truth. I was not interested, okay? I let it be known. My actions backed it up. But I guess he didn't hear me. But I had to let it be known again. My no is no. I'm not going to compromise. And I don't want anything beyond what just took place. You understand? And the reason why you have to be honest with people is because it keeps you from hurting people. And it keeps people from being the victim of being hurt. And you don't want to mislead people. That's why you got to be straight up with folks. Even though it may hurt their feelings for a quick second, you still got to be honest with people. Tell them the truth, okay? What do you want from them? What do you want from your job, okay? I know sometimes on our jobs, we're not really truthful because we don't want to hurt people's feelings, but you have to. What do you want? Okay, I want to be the vice president. Well, you can't be. You just a cook or you just the custodian. You ask what I want, that's what I want. Well, you can't because XYZ. Well, sorry, that's what I want. See, if you don't be truthful and you say, well, whatever you want me to be, then what you're doing is you put somebody else in control of your life. You're giving somebody else control of your destiny. Listen, I got a friend, Midnight, my best friend. She don't play about her job. She don't play about her destiny. And she would take full control, full responsibility of her life. So no one can say, well, she didn't fight for her truth. No, she is fighting for her truth, and she makes it to be clear. And I think that's very important. And that's why, I hold her dear to me as a friend. It's because she doesn't mind speaking her truth, and she doesn't mind letting it be known what she wants. Okay? What do you want? If you cannot tell people what you want, not necessarily that they're going to give it to you at that time, but if you can't be truthful and say, this is what I want, then you're in the wrong job. You should be able to tell any boss, I may be pushing a broom, but I want to own this establishment one day. So what you trying to say? You trying to take my job? I'm not trying to take your job. I'm trying to push you out of your job so that you can go higher. Because if I'm pushing you so you can go higher, then we both win-win, right? When I used to be a supervisor at a pharmaceutical company, I used to tell the Packers, I would tell them, all right, Patel, y'all work me out of a job. They said, oh, no, Miss Q, we love you. We don't want you to leave. I said, no, work me out of a job. I told this guy Patel, I said, I want you to be the lead over here. And I start moving it around in the company, start doing different things. But they couldn't understand, the people who was working for me, they couldn't understand. They thought it was a bad thing that I kept saying, y'all work me out of a job. Oh, you're doing good. You just keep on. I kept giving them, pointers. Even though I was working for a pharmaceutical company, I was still bringing KPI in there. And I was giving them strategies to bring wealth to that department. And that's what it did. And I said, well, even if I'm gone, you still do what you've been taught. And one of my friends, he said, your spirit is still here, or it was still here after you left. Why? Because I pushed somebody and I pushed them and they end up pushing me up. Okay. And that's what you want. When you say, hey, what do you want? Be specific. Tell people. Same situation. I remember telling, he was the director of operations. He said, well, what do you want, Q? I said, I want to be number one. I said, how come we're not number one? Why are we settling to be number two? I don't like number two. You understand? I mean that. I don't like being number two. I like being number one. That's why I work hard. That's why I fight hard. So if I feel like I'm number two, that's a quick way to get me out of your life. You understand? God first, we got that, right? But number two, we don't play those games. And that's why I told him, I said, you got to understand, and this is what I teach through my company, KPI. You have to understand why there is a number two. We understand everybody can't be number one, but why is there a number two? And once you understand why there's a number two, you will work hard to be number one. That's a personal goal that a person must meet from within to get to that place. So when you know who you are, or when you say, hey, what I want to be the owner. And they say, no, you're not the owner. The only thing you can be is this because of your level of education. A person like me, I go and start another company. You say I can't own fried eyes, pickle feet restaurant. Okay. I ain't got to own this one, but I go and start one. I would go and start or buy a chain. You have to know you. You got to know your worth. You got to know your value. You got to know boundaries, okay? Set your boundaries. Don't let people come over to your boundaries telling you who you are not based off of what they don't see in you, all right? All right. Let me see. What else do I want to give you? All right, I'm going to start right there, those 3 boundaries. Those 3 points. All right, I hope this was good. Okay, I hope this was good for you and good to you. Don't forget, no is okay. A healthy no. And a healthy no is not you saying no because you're mad at somebody. That's not why we say no, okay? When you draw those lines, remember, you're drawing the line not to keep people from crossing over, but it's helping you to what? It's helping you to manage what you have, right? It's helping you to set the boundaries for you. No, I can't talk after 10 o'clock. I know, I can't talk after 12 o'clock. No, I'm sorry. Yes, yes, I would like to, but I can get a little fleshy, after 12. So it's best that I don't. It's okay to tell somebody that. And if they like, ooh, well, that's what I want, and they keep calling you after 12, then that's all they want from you. Come on, people, listen. People don't hide what they want anymore. And then what happens is some people, when they're just silly people, they will allow people to take them down that road, and it's hard for them to come back up the road. But you've told people, you can take advantage of me. You can let people know that you're vulnerable, and not set boundaries all day long. And guess what? They're going to try you, and sometimes people manipulate you. But when you set those boundaries, what you're saying is, I'm not going to be used. I'm not going to be played, even if it's for your advancement. If we're going to do this, if we're going to play the game, I got to get something out of it. You understand? So your no, or your healthy no, is so that you can work on your wellness. You working on your spiritual, your psychological, your emotional, and your physical wellness. No, I can't go out to eat. Why? Because, my doctor says that my cholesterol is high, so I can't eat that. We can eat out, but I have to make better choices. Okay, I need to go to the gym, or I need to walk my dog a little bit longer. Why? Because with this extra weight, it's making me feel a little, I can't run like I used to. I gotta set boundaries. Well, I'm gonna go. Then you go ahead and go next time. Under normal circumstances, I would have been gladly to accompany you at a buffet. However, I have to start treating myself better. Okay, I have to start doing better by me. It's not a reflection of you. It's not a reflection of what I thought you said. It's just I have that line here, and my no is a no, only because I have to do better by me. Any other time, I would accept this phone call, or any other time, I would accept the position or accept the invitation, but it does not meet my needs at this moment. Financially, it does not make sense to me. Spiritually, it's not going to help me to improve as an individually. Emotionally, it's just going to remind me of where I came from, and not where what I fought to leave. So I'm going to have to bypass. Any other time, I would say yes, call me after 9 o'clock. But again, I understand that if I take that call from you, then old thoughts, old feelings are going to come up, which then could put me in a position to compromise in an area that I don't want to compromise, because I've worked too hard, and I've worked for a long time to get to the place to where I can now say no. Again, the no is not because I'm mad. The no is not because I think you've been talking about me. The no is not because I think that you're trying to, or I feel like you was being funny at one time. But under normal circumstances, I would. But now I have to decline, because I am going in another direction. Healthy boundaries. What it could do. It could cause people around you to either stay with you or leave you. If they stay, they will see you blossom. They will later see you grow to be that cedar tree or that palm tree, that no matter what blows your way, you're still standing. If they leave you, they will never be able to see the cedar tree or the palm tree. They will only just hear that he or she is still standing. In my conclusion, I want you to be encouraged. I feel like the information I've given you is for not just a season, because we quit to say things are seasonal. But I believe that's why I said Life Cafe is. I think I typed it out. I'm not for sure, but anyway, it's something that we need to keep ourselves going. You know, you have to know what you want, not only out of the relationships from other people, but you have to know what you want from yourself. What do you want? You will only be able to identify the truth once you set those boundaries. If you never make time for you, if you never make time to hear the voice of God pertaining to you, then it will be challenging, very challenging to know what is next. So that's why I said we can't say that this is a seasonal word. We can't say that this is a seasonal attitude to have. But this is a life-changing message that can help you in what you've been wanting. You know, God, how do I get to this next level? Set boundaries. You know, many of us should be reading more than we do, or investing more in the things that we said we want to do. But we can't because we don't have a boundary set. We don't have a boundary line set. So anybody can call us. Anybody can talk to us. Everybody has access to us. Hold on, I'm trying to check my dog. See where he at. But anybody can, you know, if you let people just talk to you any kind of way and you accept it, you know, then you're not valuing you, you know. And I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna get off. I told somebody before, I said, you know, when you get to that place of fulfillment, that place of peace, that place that you know only God could get you to, you're very cautious about allowing that to be taken or even stolen by other folks. And it's not that people do it intentionally. They just don't understand the greatness that's in you. Some people right now, they're around you and they just think, oh, that's just so and so, that's just so and so, that's just, you know, Myra's daughter, or that's just, you know, such and such daughter or granddaughter or sister or brother. When you truly understand the level of greatness that's in you, then you won't compromise. And it's okay if other people don't see it, but I guarantee you, there is somebody who will. And there are people who would appreciate you. Like I was saying about business, there's people who don't mind paying $5,000 for a service. There's people who don't mind paying $5,000 for a handbag. You may say, I'm not, I refuse, the devil is a lie. He is a lie, he's a whole lie. But at the same time, some people don't mind paying for what they want. And when you know who you are, people won't mishandle you anymore. They have to respect you, respect your purpose, or stay and watch you grow and be that cedar tree or that palm tree, or leave and hear about you still standing. All right, you all, be blessed. I just want to get on to empower you. Stay strong. God bless you. Hey, I will be back on. I ain't gonna say today, but hopefully I'll be back on before Sunday. But yeah, God bless you. Know that I'm praying for you. and set these boundaries. Know who you are and stay there. All right. Don't move the line. All right. All right. We'll build from that. Enjoy your day. God bless.